Hello, we are ready for English today. This week, our English is going to look a little bit different because we're kind of combining our English with our science. Because today we are going to start researching a habitat and writing a report on it. It's very cool. I'm just going to give you a few tips as we get started with our research project that we are going to do for English and science this week because there is a whole chapter in our English book on writing a research report. It's way back on 337 in your English books. So go ahead and look at way back, 337. You'll see a boy studying something in his room with an Australia poster on the wall, and it will be chapter 16, writing a research report. All right, did you find it? Okay, let's read. Why is a research report important? A research report helps us learn about a topic. It answers a question about a topic with facts. Facts are found in sources. Non-fiction books may be used as sources. Another source is the internet. You can find helpful facts in many truthful sources. The most trustworthy source we have is God's Word. The Bible is truth. We should check all other sources with the Bible. The Bible helps us think rightly about every part of life. That's where I'm going to stop there because they are doing a little bit different report than we are doing in the book. But we are going to use some tips that they give us from this chapter to help us get ready to research our habitat. And I want you to think of what habitat was most interesting to you. Don't pick one that you thought, this is not a very exciting one. Pick one that is interesting to you. Maybe you love the animals that are there. Maybe you thought it would be so cool to visit that habitat. So pick one that you really like. Now, what it was saying about God's Word is true. We need to make sure our facts line up with God's Word. So if you come across something that said God did not create the habitat or our world, you would know that is not a good resource because that is false. God created the heavens and the earth. We know that from the very first book of the Bible, Genesis. So make sure that your sources are true. So we are going to pick a habitat. So just if you look at the next page, they did their report on a animal. Well, we already did that, and we did our research a little bit different. This time it's going to be a little more in depth because we are going to use some books from Epic. Or if you happen to have books at your house or you know somebody with an encyclopedia or something that you could get, that would be great. We're also going to use the internet, which we are getting way familiar with now. So we are going to take some book sources and some internet sources. We are going to look at this kangaroo page. Let's just look, and that's on the back of your chapter 16 page, so 338. And here's what he wrote about kangaroos. So some facts about kangaroos are, we can see in his headings, adult kangaroos. And he wrote about facts from adult kangaroos. There are many kinds of kangaroos. Some kangaroos can grow to be 6 feet tall. Wow, that's like your daddy's. That is taller than most adults. A kangaroo can weigh 145 pounds. A kangaroo's strong tail can be longer than 3 feet. Now it writes about the habitat or where they live. Kangaroos live in Australia and a few other countries. Most kangaroos live on grasslands, but some small kangaroos live in trees. That's interesting. Then it talks about the food kangaroos eat. See how they're giving facts about each different thing? Kangaroos live in the grasslands and they eat grass. Tree kangaroos mostly eat leaves and fruit. Then it talks about protection. The back legs of a kangaroo are big and strong strong legs help a kangaroo hop very fast. Some kangaroos can jump as high as 9 feet and as far as 25 feet. Boy, if they were in trouble, whoosh, they get away fast. Kangaroos jump high and far to get away from their enemies. If a kangaroo is cornered by an enemy, it will use its strong back legs to protect itself. One kick from a kangaroo can kill an animal or a man. They have super strong legs that God gave them to hop and jump away from things. So those were very interesting facts that he researched about a kangaroo. Now let's look on to page 339. We're only going to do the front of this page, 339. It tells us about a research report. Let's look in the yellow box. A research report tells facts about a topic. Gathering facts from nonfiction sources is research. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading. The facts are organized in paragraphs. Each paragraph begins with a topic sentence that tells the main idea, detail sentences that explain the interesting topic, and an ending sentence that retells the topic. Your opinion about the topic is not included. That means you don't need to put an opinion sentence in here. Now, I am not going to be really picky about that because I love to hear your opinions. Also, like if I was doing about the polar region, I might say, I would love to see animals like this around the polar region. So if you want to throw in a personal thing in there, I am fine with that for our report. Okay. So we are going to go through this and we are going to make sure that we have decided on a habitat. We are going to also finish up this page. So we're going to remember that in a paragraph, which we have studied, a paragraph is an indented. It has a nice topic sentence at the top. Then it has details about that topic. Did you notice in the food paragraph, he did not tell about the habitat. He did not tell about how they protect themselves. It was only about food. And that's what we're going to try, to keep our topic and the details all about that topic. So if I wanted to write about the food I found, or the animals I found in the polar region, I would think, okay, topic sentence might be, the polar region has very interesting animals, period. And then my details might tell about penguins and polar bears and snowshoe hares or whoever lives in the polar region. And then I might wrap up with the ending sentence, the polar region has really interesting animals. Okay, do you see that? That paragraph has all our facts about the animals in it. Okay, so we're going to look on our paper. We have a little paragraph that shows us a good research little report. God created the animals. He created birds that fly, jungle animals that roar, insects that crawl, and all the animals that live and swim in the ocean. Enjoy finding information about an animal as we look into our habitats that these animals live in. So we're going to look in our habitats, remember. So I want you to complete those 4 questions there, and it gives you all those answers in the yellow box. So just reiterating, our paragraph starts with a topic sentence, its details, and then an ending sentence to kind of make a nice paragraph, okay? So, and that's all you have to do on English are those 4 little question, fill in the blank questions on page 339, okay? For the science part of this, because these are going to be linked up here together, science and English are going to be linked up, we're going to pull out this habitat page that you also got in your writing folder when your families picked up your stuff on Thursday. This is what you're going to pull out. We are going to just start by deciding today, what habitat are you going to do? Which one did you find most interesting? And then you're going to put it on the top of your paper. And then I want you to find one book. It can be, I want you to find one book on Epic to read and that tells about this habitat. It has to be a nonfiction book. It cannot be Amelia Bedelia Visits the Desert, even though we probably could find some facts in there, but that whole book is not nonfiction. So we need to find a good nonfiction book on Epic or maybe around your house or something that you can get some information. And try to get, you can look through this packet. This packet has what my habitat looks like. So if it was the desert, I could put sandy, dry, few trees, something like that. What animals live in your habitat? Let's jump back to the polar region. I might write penguin, snowshoe hare, polar bear, whatever you're doing for your habitat. On the inside, there are plants in your habitat. Well, maybe if you were doing the wetlands, you might put lily pads in your plants and list all the plants. What is the climate or the weather like? Well, if I was doing polar region, it would be very snowy and icy. Desert, dry and hot. Wetland, very rainy. Okay, and then some interesting facts. And as we read this week, if you just see anything, oh, that's an interesting fact. Oh, I can put that down. Find the section that it goes with, and the interesting facts go from this page over to this page. You have to give me 5 interesting facts. And then on the back, which will be another day, just remember where you're getting your sources from, or tag it somewhere, or put it somewhere in your mind knowledge, or write it down, because we are going to have 3 book sources and 2 internet sources by the end of this. But we'll talk a little more about that. So today, I want you to pick your habitat. And then I want you to read one nonfiction book about it, and write a couple facts on your research packet. Okay, this is what I'm going to call your habitat research packet. Okay, so that will take care of reading and science and these 4 questions, and this will be our English for this week. So it'll be really fun gathering facts about our habitat. So enjoy looking and reading and researching.